So, hello, Gemini. I'm Karen with Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. This reading is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, however, whatever makes sense to you. And this is for May 2023. We are going to take a look at how the month progresses, 3 cards, and then we will take a look at what our challenge is, what we don't see, what is coming in, and what to watch for, to look for. Those should be good stuff, but it could be watching for something sly. Also, we're going to take a look at 2 cards for advice for the month, and then an overall outcome. And we'll clarify if needed. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I'm using the Wizard's Tarot today. I do personal readings. Link to my website is below. There's also, on my website, there's a link to an email if you have any questions about those. Because there is some options. So, but if you have something specific, then you can email me and I'll let you know what to get. So, that was a bad shuffle. Give me a couple more shuffles here. What does Gemini need to know for May? What do our Gemini friends need to know for May? Gemini. Gemini for May. Okay, 3 cards for the situation. Well, that's for the month. I'm sorry. We've got Moon, 9 of Swords, and Death card. And then we're going to take a look at challenges and what we don't see. Those hidden opportunities, those hidden things that are happening. 8 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands. Okay. What do we need to look for or watch for? What do we need to look for or watch for May 2023 for our Gemini? Sorry, I said Capricorn. Six of Wands, 9 of Cups. Nice stuff coming in to keep our eye on. Okay, and advice, please. 2 cards for advice or actions for the month. What does Spirit want us to look at achieving for the month? There's good stuff here, but hard stuff too. Okay. I don't take those. I never have. Well, there's sometimes when it makes sense. Okay. 8 of Swords, 9 of Wands, and let us know what is the outcome. I'll keep that over there. So bottom of the deck is Queen of Pentacles here. I feel like looking at this whole reading, there is something about learning something here, Gemini. Like, I'm looking at the 8 of Pentacles as your challenge, but not even getting into how the month progresses. But I feel like this is really about finding stability this month. You're going to be really looking at, it doesn't necessarily have to be job or money. I mean, it could be, but it could be just getting your home together. It could be, I do feel like it's something that you've wanted to work on for a long time, but I feel like it's really on your mind in May. So whether it's looking for a new job or looking at promotions or, job changes, or even just your home in general, like really not your home, but your just your being, like where you're at in your mind, in your how you're handling things on a day to day, bringing something into your life that makes you feel stable, good. So whether it's like doing something with your home or doing something with work, but it just feels like you're really working on the whole. And sometimes, we may think we want another job, or we may think we want to move, or we may think these things, or but if we start progressing and working forward with something that we can grab a hold of and start doing, then we start progressing. Because the reason why I'm talking about all of this is you have the moon, nine of swords, and death card, and I look at that as how the month's going to go. And it's a little bit hard, but I feel like you've been super unclear about something with them in the beginning of the month. You're going to feel very unclear. Things are not going to be obvious. They're not going to be super clear to you. I feel like that is putting you on some kind of journey to find out what's really happening. Like, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? What's there that I've totally don't know? Like, you feel that, and you know this. Like, you'll be entering this month knowing that you're unclear, knowing that you don't know everything, or that you don't see everything, or you don't understand it. It's not clear. So that's how, you kind of are going to feel at the beginning of the month. And then as the month progresses, you're going to hit the Nine of Swords. And I think that all has to do with that moon, because whatever the situation is, it will start stressing you out because you feel like you need to change something, because something's very unclear here and you feel like you need to do something different, take a different stance, or whatever you don't understand it's driving you crazy. Like, it's and I'm not making light of it, because it's going to be you're going to have a hard time in the middle of the month with this situation. um it could be a really hard time, actually, because the I mean, it depends. Like, we all deal with the Nine of Swords type energy differently, but it will be this feeling of, I mean, because you don't see this whole situation clearly, and we'll get into more of it, but you're it's really gonna it puts you in an anxious mode because you don't know, and that not knowing has made you very anxious. And with that, because you don't see things clearly, you don't know the actions to take, and that's kind of getting frustrating. And as we get in, it'll get clearer. But the death card is towards how you're going to feel it towards the end of the month. So there is going to be a feeling of transforming at the end of the month. So I feel like this situation will become more clear. And even if it doesn't, you're going to move away from this situation, because you are going to see there's something that's going to come about that's going to make you realize that things need to change. So at the end of the month, there's going to be a realization that things need to be different. They need to change, and you realize that this change has to start with you. And that's why I was saying has something to do with your overall. I don't know if this is, well, we'll get more into it, but I don't know if this is love or work or just home or just the way you feel. But I do see that by the end of the month, you are going to know and start this change. You're going to start this process in the end of the month, because I feel like this is almost the clarity that you need. So when the beginning of the month, that thing that you're unclear about and that you're stressed about in the middle of the month because you don't know what the answers are because you can't see them clearly, or someone's not communicating them to you, or whatever the case is, or you're seeing one thing and it's really not. This death card tells me that you are going to change that. You're going to be able to transform yourself, the situation, and start working on that change in your life. And this could be small, it could be big. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Like, this could be just a small, though I hate to use the word small, But when I say that in a collective reading, I mean this might not be this whole new big wonderful job or this whole new big wonderful love, but what it could be is a beginning of changing the way you see things, the way you feel, the way you are handling situations, which will then lead to all of those things. But change to me is big regardless, but it could be the the little things that we change are what make the difference. Um, and that's what I see and feel and understand. I do feel like your challenge is the Eight of Pentacles. We'll talk about that first. So your challenge is the Eight of Pentacles, and that's just about really studying the situation and really working towards this change. It's going to be hard. And I think that's why the anxiety hits too in the middle of the month, because this is a challenge. This isn't going to be an easy change. This also could be about healing. Sometimes when I see the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like it could be working on ourselves. And when we work on ourselves, that means we're healing. But I do feel like this will be hard. It's going to be the challenge that's going to affect you in this month. Um, Again, this doesn't mean that you're going to feel challenged every day, but whatever you're working on, it is challenging because you feel like you need to do this right this time. There's like this, it doesn't feel final to me, but there is some kind of finality to it. Like it feels like I got to get it right this time. And so whether it's healing or moving up in a job or just changing your life altogether with that death, it could be just changing the way you look at things in general or changing the way you kind of are living your life on a day to day. I feel like that also could be what you don't see as the Four of Wands. So there is really something coming in that's going to be really good. And I'm looking at like what to watch for because that's Six of Wands and Nine of Cups, and that's super cool energy coming in. So I feel like you don't see this, and there is some kind of celebration happening really soon. And what I feel like this is going to be is um, some of this Four of Wands energy could be coupled with that outcome. And I didn't want to give the outcome, but it's about seeing things clearly, but it's also about being victorious. It's the Ace of Swords. But I feel like you're going to have that, you're going to be able to celebrate something that's coming in. And I do feel like there's a lot of recognition here on what your true desires are. And I think that's what you're going to be celebrating. Here's the thing. I feel like because you don't see clearly, because you're anxious about it, and at the end of the month you start making those changes, the key to those changes, okay, so this is what you don't see, but the key to those changes are what's coming in, which is the Six of Wands and the Nine of Cups. So the Six of Wands tells me that you will either one of two things. You will recognize what you need to do, to reach your desires, because that's another thing to look for. Look for what you really desire. Find that and recognize that. This is what's coming in. Look for those recognitions. Look for the positive things around you, because I think that this is all going to kind of come in, not necessarily at the end of the month, but more mid-month, once, because the anxiety is kind of going to start this process of change. And you really need to look for the opportunity to change, which is to me also the Six of Wands, but also watch what are your true desires. Look for those, point them out to yourself. This is good. This is good. This is good. It's also a little bit about, appreciation and, really looking at what you have and appreciating what you have, but also looking at what's being given to you. Because I feel like the Six of Wands is also going to be some kind of gift. And this, I feel like this, it's a head and I wouldn't, most time we wouldn't feel like this is a gift, but in this deck, I feel like it's something that's a gift. It's coming in, and and everybody's celebrating it. And again, what you don't see is the celebration. So there is something really good happening, and you do need to watch for it. Here's the thing with that that Nine of Swords energy in the middle of the month, that can hold you back from seeing the good stuff, can hold you back from seeing your desires starting to manifest, and that you're having the recognition with the Six of Wands. So this is really important that you look for these things, that you watch them. And when we get to the advice, it makes even more sense. So, and again, when you have that Nine of Swords energy in the middle of the month, when we are down or stressed or anxious, sometimes we miss the obvious that's right in front of our face because we're so focused on either what we don't know or don't have. Instead of looking at what's coming in, we could miss it. So then the advice is Eight of Swords and Nine of Wands. So the Eight of Swords, to me, when I see that as advice, it's you really are going to have to take some blindfolds off. You really need to untie yourself. So the Eight of Swords is about being restricted or being, held back or whatever. But a lot of times it's in our own head. Doesn't mean always, but a lot of times with this Eight of Swords, because it's a sword and that's our thoughts, that's our mind, that's what we think. And that's why the hard cards are in the swords, because we cause our own issues. But the Eight of Swords is really knowing that you can release yourself, but you got to take those blindfolds off. You don't want to miss these opportunities that are coming in this month. And you will if you stay in that Nine of Swords mode, which this, if you release yourself, you will get yourself out of that Nine of Swords mode quicker. Not that you're going to avoid it completely, because you probably won't. But if you really work at, look, I got to open up my mind. If you really do that, then you will be able to see these things come in. And the Eight of Pentacles won't be as much of a challenge, because that challenge is working at something. And if you're opening your mind to it and your eyes to it, not that it's easy, but it's not as hard. You still have to do the work, but it wouldn't be in the challenge spot. It would be a good challenge. And then the Nine of Wands reminds you that you can do it. You're almost there. That, stay, to me though, as advice, it's keep going. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the situation. Don't give up on what you want to change, what you want to manifest. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't have a defeatist attitude, because the Nine of Wands is about getting past that hard point. And that's always hard. Like, we've been working for something, or we've been wanting something for so long that we're tired. And we feel like, oh my God, I've put so much work in and I can't get it. And so as advice, this is a reminder you can. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. And it's very cool advice, because when you're in that Nine of Swords, it's very easy to want to give up. Because that's a hard feeling. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. So, this reminder is don't give up. It's right there. Like, if you take those blindfolds off, follow this advice, you will see what's coming in. You will see those desires starting to manifest. You will see and recognize all of the things that you have around you that you will then be able to grow from and learn from. And then your outcome is the Ace of Swords, and that really tells us that you are going to see things clearly. By the end of the month, you are going to see things clearly. You're going to have a clear understanding of how to move forward. You will feel better about things in general. There is really no super difficult except for that one middle of the month card. And that is because you're not seeing things clearly. And as soon as you take that blindfold off, you will have clarity. And this clarity is going to define what you should be doing next. Like, where do I go from here? And having this clarity is going to allow you to continue to move forward. Because if you don't work on some of these things this month, you could get stuck. But I like the fact that we have this energy at the end of the month, because that kind of tells me that you will do the work to come out of it, because this is a transformation card. So you will do the work. Absolutely. And you will have the clarity at the end of the month, and then that will take you into a whole new season here. I feel like this is really good energy for you. I feel like Overall, you know, you can do it. I do feel like that advice and what to look for is so important. If you're feeling that stressful moment in the middle of the month and you're feeling like things aren't clear, don't give up on yourself. Keep your, you know, keep looking for those things that are going to come in, your true desires, your, you know, recognize those things that are being handed to you, and that will allow you to start moving forward too. And then that death card is actually a beautiful energy at the end of the month because you are transforming. And it would be different if it was good stuff, you know, like you had like, you know, something more positive in the beginning of the month, but what you're doing is you're transforming. And that's part of the anxiety though. When we change, we can get anxious because when we change in the death kind of sense where we transform something, that's usually letting something go as well. So that's always kind of a hard change anyway. Um, to me, it's I mean, it's a different change than the tower because it's something that we're working on and creating. Where the tower is a sudden change. This is a change that's evolving. So, but change is change, and when we and the death card does say we have to let something else go to be able to become something more better or to change our life. There's something that to make room, right? You have to let something go. So, that's a pretty good reading. You got this, Gemini, no problem. Actually, that's a good reading. So, if you enjoyed the reading and it made sense and you felt like it was a good reading, please hit the like button. Give me any comments. I appreciate all comments as always. So, take care and have a beautiful day.